Hi, my name's Barnaby Davis and I'm one of the founders here at Omnivisto. This is a short talk that we gave at an event called Leeds Digital a couple of weeks ago. We started the talk by asking this question, and this question might be a bit more meaningful if we actually restate this question in some different ways and some ways that might be a bit more recognisable to the audience of this video. What's worth noting is that this is a digital question with a digital answer, and the reason I say that is because the data is there. Before we answer this question, and we will, it's worth just looking at some of the things that we'll need to do in order to provide an answer to this question. So firstly, we're going to need to provide a single view of everything in a browser. And we're going to need to do that in a really simple user interface that's suitable for non-expert audiences and has almost no training requirement whatsoever. And because that schedule data that we know exists in different formats, in different repositories, maybe some of which are even outside the organisation, we're going to have to find a way to unify or federate or synthesize that data into one coherent whole. We're going to need a new, and I think I'm going to use the word simple and better way to securely visualize complex schedules. And what I will say is if you've addressed requirement 1 and 2, you're at least a good part the way there to number 4. We want very low barriers to adoption, and that's just a good thing on any day of the week. But I guess what I mean in this context is really we don't want to disrupt the existing tooling or existing solutions that businesses have. We want to be an additive solution, not a replacement solution, and we want to make use of those data sets in their existing format to avoid any kind of rekeying or duplication of data. One of the challenges we're also going to need to face is to condense data sets that don't have an obvious upper size limit into displays and mobile form factors that absolutely do have a size limit, and that's quite a big ask. We're going to want buy-in from other vendors whose data we might need to access. We're going to need buy-in from the project management community and business stakeholders and the people that own that data, and also the people that are going to consume that data. So all in all, everyone's going to have to think this is quite a good idea, because if any one of those parties isn't happy with what's being proposed, then the solution probably isn't going to work. And finally, as if that wasn't enough, we're going to need to make it cool. And the reason for that is, if it's not, I just can't see business and the wider stakeholders adopting it. So this is Omnivisto's solution. We call this the Vistagram. It is a single view of everything. There is no obvious upper size limit to how much data and how big a plan and how many different plans you can put into this visualization. Now that's a topic we can explore in more detail another time, but we're exploring those boundaries all of the time, and we would like to think that the Vistagram is a very good repository for all of the schedules for all of the projects you've ever run, all of the projects that you're running now, and all of the projects you ever will run. So we're going to tick that box for a single view of everything. The Vistagram actually only has 2 controls. We click the task to drill in and see more detail, and we go back to the center to click up. So I say it's easy to use, and I don't see how anyone could conceive of an easier solution than this. The Vistagram fundamentally can join multiple data sets together. That's very much a function of our algorithms and how the back-end technology works, and we can publish those different schedules in a single unified Vistagram, almost to the point that you'd never know you were looking at 2 different plans, and so we'll give ourselves a tick for the data federation. The Vistagram will always work in a browser. We might one day have a mobile application, and if we go mobile, we'll probably also make the round Vistagram a square Vistagram, because that's going to work better on mobile form factors. But for now, the radial format seems to work quite well, and it does work well on most displays and most tablets as is. The Vistagram consumes existing schedule data natively. All of the data there that you're looking at was consumed from a CSV file directly exported from a Microsoft project plan. We can already import from Excel. We've had an integration with Smartsheet working previously. We are also working on a Google Sheets integration. In short, as long as the data fulfills some basic requirements, then we can ingest it and render it as a Vistagram. The Vistagram scales very well, and if I just pause the video at an opportune moment, I'll show you one of our scaling solutions. So we have 6 tiers here. This is analogous to a Gantt chart, but we never have more than 6. I mean, we could design it to have 7 or 8 or 4 or 5, but 6 looks about the right number to us. And if we've got what we call some congestion, if we've got too many tasks going on at the same time, too many projects, then we just group the minimum into a separate group. That's completely arbitrary, and there's 5 items under there, and you click that group to expand those. So it's always going to be quicker to drill than it is to scroll through thousands of items, and therefore the Vistagram in most instances is always going to look about the same. In practice, you don't actually see it grouping that much. Most plans seem to fit in here quite well, but just in case there's someone that wants to run 30 projects simultaneously without any kind of subgrouping or program segmentation, we have this crowd control, which is going to ensure that if you have 1,000 tasks running simultaneously, we'll be able to display that. So we scale. Do we have buy-in from the community? Well, I'm a member of that community and I have been for a number of years. We've had a lot of very positive feedback, even I would go as far as to say as plaudits and acclaim. You can see some of those on our website. Short version, we can't find anyone that doesn't like the Vistagram, and if you happen to be that person, get in touch and tell us what you don't like about it. We'll only be too happy to hear from you. So we would say that we've got good buy-in from the community. And lastly, is it cool? Well, so far, I would say not. Because we're a data visualization company and the Vistagram is inherently a schedule, so I don't think the Vistagram is cool in and of itself. But when you've got something that is easy to use and compelling in terms of scheduling, visualizing complex schedules as the Vistagram, it can support a number of different workloads. So what we're looking at here is not, in fact, a project plan. This is actually the lineup from the Glastonbury Music Festival in 2019, and we can use this to render and visualize complex schedules in a way that's never been done before, and we can brand it, and it can be shared, and it can be support a multitude of workloads. So while the Vistagram might not be cool, we hope the uses to which it will be put will be cool. So we'll take a tick for that as well. So that concludes the talk. Short summary and an introduction to Omnivisto. We're very happy to talk with any party that thinks they might potentially be interested in the Vistagram, either as a consumer or potentially putting our algorithms inside your existing software so that you can render your schedules in Vistagrams. And if you should wish to get in touch, then the email address is in front of you. And all that remains for me to say is thank you for listening, and I hope you found it interesting. Thank you very much.